Hello planty people, it is me, Empress. I am back. I know it's been like 4 months plus since I've done a video update. I'm very sorry about that. As I'm sure you're well aware, the world and life has kind of been a little bit for everyone lately, and I had a pretty rough winter with my chronic pain, so I just wasn't up to filming for a while. So I apologize for that, but I am back and I am here, and I've got some fun videos planned as we roll into spring and I kind of get back into my plants after kind of just getting them through winter like I was getting myself through winter. So I'm here today for a little houseplant tour. Totally missed my winter houseplant tour, so we're jumping straight into an early spring houseplant tour, considering it is the start of September now. I've had a lot of stuff happen kind of over winter, so there'll be quite a few changes since you saw me last, which was my last video. What was that? It was my putting the shelves up video, as well as kind of rearranging my space, as well as kind of a mini plant tour, because I kind of knew that I wasn't going to get to a winter one, so I did that then anyway. So today we're going to go into a tour. Now, these shelves have been fantastic for my plants. However, they are really hard to take photos and video of. Because I put them all up against the windows like this, I can't see anything, so I'm sorry, you're just going to have to see the reflection of the ring light, yeah, in my glasses, because I've had to get the ring light out because I can't get footage of anything without really bright light in here, because the window is doing such a good job for the plants. Which, you know, has been fantastic for all of my babies. They've had a really good spell of winter growth. However, it has made any sort of filming a little bit tricky over winter, and it's meant that I've had to kind of go in and move everything around, and I haven't been able to do that. So anyway, I'm rambling. So today I have gotten out the ring light, and we are going to kind of have a look around my main space, which is in the dining room here, and then I'll kind of do a little bit of a handheld just around the rest of the house, I think. So I have a few things that have done really well over winter, which you're going to find out, and then I have a few things that have just kind of crashed and burned a little bit, but that's winter. That's kind of expected. I mean, if you can get through winter without losing one single plant or having one single plant getting a little bit sad, then I think you've done really good all winter. So we're gonna go in and see who's done well, who hasn't done quite so well, and I'm gonna try and talk a little bit about why I maybe think that has happened, and then yeah, I'll go handheld around the rest of the plants around the rest of my house. I've had a few things I've changed care for, a few things have not budged at all, because I've been a little bit neglectful over winter, to be honest. I've fed regularly still. I fed once a month on schedule every month, and that's basically some of the only watering a lot of these plants have gotten. I was very sparing on my watering this winter. Last winter I drowned a lot of stuff by accident. This winter I was very careful with my watering to avoid any root rot, and I think I've managed to get through the entirety of winter without rotting a single plant. However, I did accidentally leave a few to dry out a little bit too much, so a few things have gone a little bit crispy. However, that I find is easier to recover from than root rot and completely drowning a plant. I am still fighting the spider mite saga a little bit of, like, however many months ago it was now. Many. I swear it never ends. Honestly, spider mite's the bane of my existence. So I've still got 2 that are currently quarantining in the bathroom, and I think they are currently the only 2 culprits in the house, as far as I'm currently aware. Touch wood. Does touching a Monstera count as touch wood? Oh my god, I've got wood right here. Touch wood. That they are the only current spider mites in the house, and they have been treated. Currently for my spider mites, I'm using killer mite spray as well as systemic powder in the soil, which is a lot more chemicals than I personally like to use. However, they have given me no choice. So that's kind of where I'm at with that spider mite saga. So we're gonna jump into some plant tour. I realize my kitchen fan is on, so I'm sorry if that noise has been annoying you. I will turn it off. All right, that's better. Fan's off. It's nice and quiet now. All right, so I am going to turn the camera around in a second, and we're gonna look at the plants. Also, if you noticed my shirt, check out my shirt. Do you like my shirt? If you like my shirt, I drew it, and I will put the link in the description. Yeah. All right, so let's turn the camera around and start looking at some plants and hope that this ring light can keep up with the brightness of the curtains. If it can't, I'll close the curtains and we'll have some artificial light realness. Yeah, I heard it. Just popping in at the end here, not at the end, in the middle, at the start. Popping in after filming at the start to let you know this is going to be a two-parter because it ended up a really long video and I don't want to bother cutting it down. So enjoy this two-part houseplant tour. It's been long enough, right? May as well give you a really long one. First, here's just a little bit of a wide angle sweep of the space at the moment. The shelves are very tall. I have taken down a bunch of the hanging stuff just because it was a bit hard for me to get up there because I am only 5'2". And I have a couple of grow lights going at the moment just because winter, we haven't had as much sun in this space. As it comes into summer, those grow lights might be taken down. I'll see how I go because the sun is actually going to shift back around and come back in straight through this way in the morning. At the moment, it's coming in at an angle like this, and I'm having to currently open the curtains before I go to bed at night so that the sun comes through first thing in the morning, and they get a little bit of the morning sun first thing. So a lot of things are going to be leaning, and I'm going to have to turn them around to show them to you as I'm kind of filming. But, you know, everybody's done okay over winter. These grow lights have survived. My house just does not get the greatest light in winter. I really thought it did. And then this year I've really, really paid attention and I've really kind of watched what's been happening a lot closer. And it just doesn't. The sun shifts in winter and I just don't get any light in here. So yeah, I have had to subsidize a little bit with artificial light, but everyone seems to have held up okay. So I'm going to start in this end. I'm going to try not to have to bump up the ISO too much on this because I want to try and, you know, keep the detail of the plant as well. So I'm going to move there we go. I'm moving the ring light with me as I go. So I'm going to start in this corner. So this shelf over here has kind of become my begonia shelf and corner for all of my spotty begonias, which I've realized I've got quite a lot of. It's a bit hard to get in here and have a little look. Let's so this is a Peperomia that's really in the way, and I've got she's a big girl. All right. So I don't know the names of all of these plants. I will pop up what I know on the screen. So as I go through them, you will get the names as I know them, but some of these are just guesses. So if I'm wrong, please feel free to politely correct me in the comments. Now, you know, beautiful wing begonia. This one was actually growing a bit funky previously, so I kind of chopped its head off. As you can see, here are the two cuts there. And it has just come back beautifully, and it's nice and kind of more bushy from the front. From the back, she looks a little bit funny and awkward, but that's okay, babe. You look good from the front. So I'm just going to put her next to me for a minute while I get this one out. Now, this one, I have absolutely no idea of the variety. I just know that it is a begonia of some kind. This one is just, she's getting huge in that corner, and I love her. She's just got the most beautiful little foliage. The backs are a really lovely kind of more burgundy wine color than the bright red of some of the other ones, but she has gotten massive over winter, so she's doing really well. She just kind of sits in that corner and catches the ambient light all day. Now I'm just going to pop her back so I don't forget. Everyone's just going to go back and you can just enjoy watching it. So next we're going to move on to, this one's quite a funny story actually. This is a Snow Queen and a Mandula in one. So my friend found this Mandula / Snow Queen at IKEA for like $6 or something. And half of it had turned into a Snow Queen, a Mandula, and half of it was still a Snow Queen. So you can see where that white stem has grown out. It's different. It's a different plant now. So you can even tell by the leaves. And so what I did is I cut off the original Mandula and just went, okay, that'll just be a cute little Snow Queen now. And it just pumped out a brand new Mandula. It's like, no, this is what I'm meant to be. Thank you very much. So I'm just going to leave that for a while, let it grow much longer, and I'm probably going to chop it again and just see if it's going to do it again. But quite fascinating, really, to see that change in the variegation. So you can quite clearly see how now it is the white leaf from the center and the white stem, just like a Mandula always is. And then there's the Snow Queen leaf with the Snow Queen stem with the green from the center. It's just fascinating. So that's that one there. And then this is a Pilea, watermelon Pilea, I think. This one looks a bit funny at the moment. It's kind of gotten a bit tall and out of hand, but it looks cute just kind of popping over the top of other plants. So I just kind of leave it for the moment, but it probably desperately needs a repot. Yeah, like, so the roots are growing out the bottom of that. It desperately needs a repot. So pretty much everything you see is going to be repot as I go into spring, because I have not repot anything in ages. I just have to order more orchid bark and stuff because I haven't ordered any in ages. All right. So next, we're going to move down to a few other begonias, I guess. And we'll talk about these on the end in a minute. All right. Awkward lean. All right. So this one I've had for a while. It is doing beautifully. It was struggling for a while and lost all of its leaves. So it's kind of probably a little bit behind in growth as to where it should be because it's been regrowing leaves. However, it's doing really, really healthy now. Look at that beautiful new leaf there. Isn't that cute? I haven't really looked at some of these plants properly in quite a while. So this is going to be a journey for me as much as it's going to be a journey for anybody watching. What have we got next to it? So I feel like this is the same as that one. I'm not sure. Again, I don't know if these, I'm pretty sure it's the same begonia. Again, I'm not 100% sure with these, so if anybody would like to tell me, are these two the same variety? I feel like they are, right? They have to be. Yeah. I really can't remember any of my own plants anymore. So that one's tucked in that corner there too. And then next to it, this one's definitely a different variety. Hold on, I just got to hold it differently. So this one has grown massive over winter. If you had remembered this one from previous videos, I honestly could not even remember for the life of me what it used to look like, but I know that it never looked like this. So this one's had a very impressive growth season. I've had to keep my house quite warm over winter, so I think my house was probably warmer this winter than it was for a lot of summer because we just didn't have a very hot summer here this year. Like we had like a couple of weeks of warmth, but we didn't really get a stinking hot summer like we normally do. So I feel like my plants have probably thought it's spring for a few months now rather than thinking it's actually winter because I've had a lot of kind of fresh growth and a lot of flowerings as well. Here is another begonia. This one you would probably recognize if you've watched old houseplant tours from me. It did, again, like some of the other ones, I kind of neglected watering a little bit. I'm trying to stop the wobbling. I neglected watering a little bit and a lot of its leaves fell off. So it, again, has had to do some recovery growth, which is why you can see a lot of baby leaves on the stem. But I've just been upping the food, making sure I'm feeding it regularly, and it has just kind of sprung back to life. So that's lovely to see. All right, well, I've got this gap here. I'm just going to put this foxy one back. Everything is very, like, strategically placed, so I've got to make sure it all goes back in the right way. Otherwise, somebody gets hurt. Ta-da! Here is a little, some sort of ice begonia. Cannot remember it. It's got some cute new growth at the moment. All my begonia are doing really, really well because I've been spraying them with Rose Shield once a month or once every 2 to 3 weeks, which has really helped with any fungal issues that I seem to have been having with my begonias that was killing them. So if you're struggling with some of your begonias, then that might be part of the problem. So here, okay. So that is a definite different type of spotty wing begonia. I only just potted that up this morning from a cutting that was in propagation for a really long time. But I know that this one's different from the one up there because the spots are further apart, larger, and the backs of the leaves are pure red. They have no fade out. So again, that is another type of the same sort of angel wing begonia varieties. Cannot remember the type. Here we have a dragon's tail Epipremnum. It's on the screen. It had a bit of an issue, and so I cut its head off, and the top kind of died off a little bit. So I chopped it and propped it, and as you can see, it has sprouted a new sprout. So that's nice to see. It's looking good. This Friendship Polea, I can't remember the name of it. It's kind of gone weird and crinkly, so I'm not quite sure if that's how it's supposed to look, but it doesn't look like that in any photos I've seen. So I don't know if maybe we've just had a watering inconsistency. Oh yeah, because some of theirs looking good, hey. Yeah, I think I had like a watering inconsistency or something on this side. But here's giving me nice pretty growth as to what it's supposed to look like. So that's nice. Okay. Whew. Everyone's really crammed in at the moment. I really need to do some culling. Get rid of some plants. As much as it pains me to say, I need to get rid of some plants. And I need to do a cull. And I need to repot a whole bunch of stuff into kind of group pottings. So anything that's a duplicate of the same plant, if you see it now, I'm going to have it potted up in the same pot as the other one eventually, hopefully. We'll get there. All right. I need to pause because I need to... Okay, so the last two on the ends here so this one, I don't know if it was in my last video, but if it was, it would have been just a tiny little baby. It is now doing really, really well. This is a Maranta no idea. Well, basically, it's a Maranta no ID. Not called Noid, but kind of get nicknamed Noids because that's how it's written, is no ID. So it hasn't been genetically identified, technically doesn't have a name yet. So it's not a black Maranta, but it has these beautiful stripes on it. Now, it has gotten some great color over winter. I'm very happy with it. It kind of has just taken off in the last few weeks, so I'm very proud of how that one's coming along. This one's quite rare in Australia, and I was very lucky to have gotten it in a plant trade, and I didn't quite know what its value was until afterwards, and so I felt very lucky to have received it. Now, it does look very similar to its cousin here, but you can kind of see it's absolutely spectacular with its beautiful stripes there. All right. Moving along. Now, speaking of its beautiful cousin here, this is a Maranta. Can't say the second part of it, so there's the name on the screen. You would recognize this one from previous houseplant tours. It is massive now. Like, honestly, I cannot show you the scale of just how huge this plant is. So all these damaged leaves are old from OG times, back when they were in the lounge room before they were moved in here. So any old leaves you see, I just haven't gotten around to pruning off yet. But as you can see, all of its new growth is just like, look at this. It's as big as my hand. This is just wild. Like, check that out. So, I'm very impressed by how well this one's coming along at the moment. Like, seriously, she is a beast. So that one is honestly one of my favorite plants at the moment, just because it is so impressive to kind of just stare at her. Like, look at her. She's gorgeous. So yeah, this one is one of my pride and joy babies at the moment, is this giant Maranta. Just love her to death. So hiding in here we have I still got the name on this one. This one. Yeah, so I'll put the name up properly on the screen. But it is gorgeous. Picked that up from a local hardware store, I think. Very happy with this. It's got these gorgeous big leaves. Like, the leaf size is huge, which is why I really loved it. It's got some new leaf spouts coming out. The tip did snap off after I got it, which is kind of annoying. But, you know, you can't win them all. So the tip is propagating, but I don't know how well the tip is going to take because it really was just like the tiniest little end cutting. So it is sprouting like a new shoot here already. So, I mean, I'm not worried about it taking off from the end again. It'll get there. Here is a Begonia Rex. This one has done really, really well lately. It's gotten a lot of new growth in the last few weeks. Like, everything has just realized it's spring and it has just come into its own beautifully. So this one has taken off. My escargot begonia looks a little bit sad, but it's getting there. I've upped its rose shield dosage. I think it did have some kind of fungal infection because since upping its rose shield dosage, we've had a bunch of new leaves pop out, as well as, have a look at this. Isn't that just the sweetest flower you have ever seen? So this one definitely seems to be happier now that I've upped its rose shield kind of dosages, and it does seem to be bouncing back. So it is a bit thirsty at the moment, so I'm just trying to make sure that I keep on top of its watering schedule. Just a little plain Jane, but still very cute. I don't know, does this come, can someone answer this for me? Because I have looked it up and it's not really known. Now, this is just a regular, not pothos, but I can't say its real name, so I'm going to call it a pothos, but I understand it's not a pothos, and here's its real name on the screen. But we're just going to call it that for the ease of this video because I struggle to say the other name. But this, it's just a regular jade, not pothos, right? However, its leaves have stayed this size. So is there such thing as a mini version of such thing? Because it has not given me, no matter what, like, big leaves. Whereas, like, right next to it, the same species, like, you know, exact same species, has given huge leaves. So, I don't know. Can anyone answer that in the comments? If you can, let me know. Does this come in a mini form? If so, that is a mini jade. That one. Here I have my Philodendron Gigas, I don't know. However you say it. I can't remember half these names off the top of my head because I didn't actually look them up beforehand. So, good thing they're all written on the screen, right? This one I got on eBay for quite a lot cheaper than was going at the local rare plant shop. So I was very happy to score that because it's also got these huge mature leaves, which is nice. So I'm excited to see it continue growing. That's a newer one, so I haven't had any new growth since I got it, but it does look like it's starting to prep for a new leaf. So that'll be fun. All right, now we're starting on the big shelves. Got this. So I need to co-pot this Monstera here, this Deliciosa is beautiful, cute new leaf, is one of many that I'm going to end up co-potting into kind of just one huge big Deliciosa. However, I just haven't had the time or the ideal location to put a giant Deliciosa pot yet. However, that will be the plan eventually for all of my kind of regular Deliciosas that you're going to see throughout this video. So here is my grown-up, mature silver sword. Unfortunately, one of my children dropped a pot onto it while doing something else. like they were helping me with something and they dropped a pot on top of it, one of my teenagers, and so it has beheaded it by accidentally. So I gave that cutting away, but what that's done is it's encouraged a new growth point here and a new growth point here. So considering she was looking a little bit weird and kind of a little bit like, my floor is dirty, I should have swept. I didn't sweep the floor, I know, I'm sorry, it's dirty. But, you know, so she looks a bit weird. However, I think once these new growth points come in from the head being knocked off, it should come quite good and look quite impressive. Okay, so honestly, you're going to see some plants in some not great shape today because this is real life and I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it too much, but this is what it is. So some of these plants are going to have their little rough edges and we're just going to deal with it. So this is my variegated ficus. It's got this bugger leaf here, but otherwise it's doing quite beautifully. I think she's a bit thirsty, but I just gave her a water today. So anything that looks thirsty, I know I gave it a water today. Everything's had a water and a feed today, so anything that looks thirsty isn't thirsty anymore, I promise. So this one has that one beaten up leaf, but otherwise it's got a new growth point coming out. This leaf is fairly new and healthy and happy, so that's quite a lovely little plant there. Then I have, so this is my Syngonium. It has a whole bunch of different names. We call it a fantasy here in Australia. It also gets called a white butterfly, I think, doesn't it? I don't know. I guess it's got a bunch of names. This is its technical name. And this one I picked up at my local hardware when we had a bunch of tissue cultured ones come through. As you can see, it's in a little bit of rough shape as well, but these white leaves are just so delicate that I think I jammed that up against something and that leaf just went, how about no? And then I sprayed like pest control spray near it and this white leaf has reacted. So the white on these leaves is probably the most delicate of any variegation leaf that I've come across, but isn't it just stunning though? Like, I forgive it. So this one kind of just sits in the corner there with its head popping up. But I do need to get some sort of growth pole for it eventually because it's very much grown out of the little plastic stand that it is stuck to there. Hiding behind that is one of my many pink princesses that, again, is all going to be co-pot into one because I'm really sick of all of these poo princesses. This one I'm considering chopping the head off because I haven't had any pink past this leaf here. So and that's where you can see there's a stripe in that stem, so I kind of want to chop it back to there and see if I can encourage a bit more pink growth out of that. I've been doing that more and more with my pink princesses because I really do just want to try and get a plant that's actually gonna look like something. So in here are some of my Syngoniums that again are in a little bit of rough shape. Like you can just see here, I've been neglectful, I get it. Don't call me out. Just appreciate the fact that I'm being honest with you. And my cat has now decided to say hello because he wants attention. Hey, Murph. Yeah, I know. I'm not feeding you right now. I'm not hugging you right now. You can just scooch, please. He has no interest in the plants at all anytime except for when I'm doing stuff with them. He never chews them. None of that. He just only cares when he's like, what are you doing? See, he's back at my elbow already. Hey, bud. All right, so here is my Syngonium Confetti. Now, this is one of the, a tissue cultured version of the Syngonium Confetti, which came into our local hardware stores in Australia. Some people kind of poo-poo these a little bit, saying that they're not as good. However, this is a newer leaf on mine, and isn't it just beautiful? Like, I don't even care. If you want to, like, shun it, I'll keep it. So I think it's gorgeous. It's gotten some really cute coloring. I don't think it's in the best light for coloring though. I think it's actually getting a little bit too much light. So I do want to move it away from the window just a tiny little bit because some of the leaves that had more pink on them have started to fade. So I do want to see if that's maybe a light thing. However, the new leaf is beautiful. So who knows? This is a Syngonium pink spot, I think. So it's kind of the reverse of the confetti, and it's got these dark leaves with the little pink speckles on them. Again, this one's doing okay. It started to get some new growth points, so that's good. Since I got it, it hasn't really done much, but it didn't have much of a root system when I got it, so I think it did have a lot of rooting to get done. Another one that's looking a little bit tragic, but only because this one leaf is a little bit shit, and then that leaf's shit. Sorry, terrible bleep. So this is my Three Kings Syngonium. It is doing quite well. There's two different plants in here. I got two different cuttings. So I don't know if maybe that's the one that's gone a little bit sour. But I won't really tell till it gets a bit bigger, I suppose. One of them is not as variegated as the other, but it does have slightly different colouring. So I do hope as it grows out, it gives me this plant that's got some different looks to it. Because there are like some Three Kings Syngoniums that look very different. So there are some that look like this, and then there's some that like have more of this white mottling here. So I'll be interested to see how it looks as it matures, I hope. Popping over to Pink Princess is in the way. Popping over to another Syngonium. This one was very thirsty, so she's a bit floppy, but again, like I said, she's had a drink this morning, so she's fine. Syngonium Batik, I think it's said. Again, it's on the screen. So this one has these really, really, really kind of, what do you call, identifiable lines compared to the regular butterfly, white butterfly. So that's the white butterfly. So the other regular, more common Syngonium, it looks very similar, except these lines are a little bit more crisp. So I have the other one in another room, and I'll show it a little bit later. But comparatively, this one has much crisper lines. Next over is my Birkin, my Philodendron Birkin, which I think has reverted to fully variegated, which is not great. So it looks like so this leaf is coming out now as pretty much pure white. So it looks like I'm probably going to have to behead her back to when she was green and stripy. So that's a bit of a shame, but you know, it happens. And then we have two Pink Princess pots here. This Pink Princess is the only one that I have that has much color at the moment. It does have another beheaded one in there. So this is the Pink Princess that I got on my honeymoon. It did have fantastic variegation at the base of the plant. So again, I beheaded it, hoping to encourage, it had a half moon, like pink and pink to start with. So I'm hoping that, this beheading will take it back to encouraging some of that half moon pink and pink. This is another one that's done a little bit of something. So I do want to pot all of these princesses into one big kind of bulk pot, just so that when they do something, it's going to look a little bit more interesting. My monkey mask, addasonii, which just touching it has made me realize I haven't repot that into my perfect ideal soil. This one I got a few months ago. It started to do quite well. Now it started to grow quite big. My Rhapsodophora tetrasperma, one of them, aka the mini Monstera. I'm sorry if my angle for the camera isn't great. I am trying my best, but I can't really see what I'm doing. So it's doing quite well. It's got this cute little new growth at the top. That's quite happy. Now we've got the addasonii corner. So the addasonii, name on the screen now. Again, I haven't pruned, I haven't leaf checked in ages. So yes, there are some dud leaves. We're having some plant realism today. Like, you know. But it does have a bunch of new growth. This one's just kind of sent a huge stem out recently that I've had to, like, I caught this growing off through this Monstera and was like, excuse you, come back here. This is a new stem here. Which is, you know, lots of new shoots off the end there, which is cute. There's lots of new, like that's a new leaf. Wow, that's massive. So yeah, it's doing well. Despite having a few grubby leaves here and there, it is actually very healthy at the moment. And same with its little sister next to it. Sometimes there are just duddy leaves and that's fine. But as you can see, there is not lots of fresh growth on there. So I'm absolutely not worried about it at all. Sometimes leaves just die and you just take them off and throw them in the bin and pretend it didn't happen. Now I'm going to pause while I move along. Okay, so the shelf above the shelf we were on just then, so we've gone up a shelf. Here is one of my other beautiful plants, which I really need to repot, but I'm a little bit scared to because it's just so big right now. So that is my Tradescantia Zebrina dark form, which, as you can see, grows a lot more compact than the traditional Tradescantia. And have a look at this. It's been doing this lately. It's giving me the sweetest little flowers. Aren't they just precious? It's beautiful. So this one is a much darker purple. If it was getting a lot more sun too, it would go almost like black purple. It gets rid of these stripes too. If it gets more sun, the stripes kind of disappear. But I actually like it looking stripy. I really enjoy the stripes, so I keep it like that. But it does have, you know, that traditional dark foliage, purple foliage underneath. It is a lot more of a dark, lush purple than the camera is capturing, which is a real shame because it is such a just stunning color and a stunning plant, but it just doesn't capture it on the screen because the lighting is not great. So sorry about that. A little variegated string of pearls, babies. These were grown from once upon a time. I had a big, beautiful string of pearls, and then it got eaten alive by mealybugs. And here we have what's left. So unfortunately, yeah, that's a thing. And behind that is my purple velvet plant, which has grown a lot lately. However, I actually beheaded it recently to start propagating it, because I wanted to start selling little pieces of it. But it is about to flower, so it must have appreciated the beheading. So that's adorable. So I'm really excited to see what those flowers look like. Another one that is purple and flowering is my purple triangularis Oxalis here, which has been flowering for like 8 months, I swear. This plant is just ginormous. I'm going to pull it out and show it to you. If I can. She's very delicate. Oh god, she's stuck. She's stuck. Oh no. Pause. Now again, we're going to have some not quite Instagrammable plant realness moments. Like, this happens. They're just old dead leaves. Like, old leaves need to die sometimes. So I just haven't, you know, pruned it or anything lately. So it's got these cute little flowers. It is shooting out. So these are grown from 2 cuttings. If you've followed my channel for a while, I had 2 Oxalis cuttings months ago. These are those cuttings now. They are huge. Does love to turn towards the sun though, so this is the view I get most of the time. Not quite so cute, so I do rotate her on a regular basis, which is why some of her stems are really kind of wonky and wobbly, because she's changed directions in following that sun so much. But I think she's precious and beautiful, and she also needs a repot very, very soon. So again, this is going to be a job for spring. So next to her, none of these are in variety order at the moment either. I did have it at one point that all of the species were all together, and then it's kind of just turned into a shambles since then. So Syngonium wendlandii, name on screen now. Again, I haven't done any maintenance, so you're going to see a couple of, this one did have a bit of a rough trot. I thought she maybe had spider mites for a minute, but thankfully there is not, like, literally not a single sign of spider mites. So I think it was probably overwatering, because, you know, yellowing, if it's not overwatering, it's spider mites usually. And so I think that that's what happened here. So I just think I need to just prune off that old growth, but it's got new growth that's coming out beautiful. The new leaves are looking very healthy. Like, that's a brand new leaf. Like the new leaf that's growing here. It all looks really healthy. So I think that I literally just overwatered a little bit by accident. So that's fine. My Snow Queen, she's looking very impressive. She's got 4 or 5 stems in there now, I think, and she just keeps getting bigger. Although I wish she would just kind of trail a little bit more, because she kind of just decides to curl off where she wants, but I'm trying to encourage her to grow down and kind of flow a little bit more, but I think that's just the way it's going to grow. Another one that I have to rotate. Yay! So my watermelon peperomia, it's doing quite well. It did have some damaged leaves when I got it, which is what you can see here, but it is recovering really well. It does have a dead leaf too, hiding in under here. See? So yeah, like it's doing beautifully though. It's got these beautiful new healthy leaves. It's got lots of new baby leaves coming up, which do come out looking a little bit strange sometimes, but they always kind of, you know, figure themselves out at the end. So that one's coming along beautifully. It is hard to see, isn't it? Because that lighting's there. Oh, my postie's here, which means my dogs are about to bark. Pause. All right, so moving up from that shelf, we're moving up to the next shelf above. On here we have another mishmash. Some of the ones on this shelf are just not being kept, or they're just kind of being a little neglected or whatever. And then I also have kind of a spattering of like a rare plant just hidden in the back there. So that's a bit odd. If you saw my 7-month-old Peperomia video, you would have seen that pot of turtles, and I was like, I'll repot this soon. Yeah. So I lied. Not on purpose. However, this is now said container of turtle leaf propagations. I'm a little bit afraid to repot it now because it is so lush and happy. Like, this is grown from a few leaves. A few Peperomia turtle leaves, and now it looks like this, and now I'm scared to repot it. So I'm just leaving it alone on the shelf there. I guess I'll repot it at some stage. Here we just have a plain, beautiful golden devil's ivy. And then we have a snow queen, marble queen, whatever they get called. They get called, and the problem with this is they get called different things in different countries. So if you're in America and you're going, that's not called that, that's because in Australia they actually get called different things. So this is, I think, what's that? Marble Queen in Australia, Snow Queen in Australia, and I know they get called different things. And then here is my mandula, which I accidentally got for free because a company sent it to me by mistake. So I was pretty happy with that. It didn't do so well in shipping, which is what all these damaged leaves are. However, since it's been with me, it has had this brand new leaf here, which is perfect. And then it's had another shoot popping out there as well, which looks like another beautiful leaf. So the battered up leaves on this plant are legit not my fault. That one is actually the fact that it just didn't ship very well. So that one's not on me. And then hiding up the back there is some nerve plants, which I can't see very well, but I'll be getting rid of them. Can it focus on them? Maybe? Just some regular old Fittonia nerve plants, but they drive me bonkers. So I will be getting rid of those. Here I have a little strawberry begonia that is not a begonia. I will put the name of it up on the screen. It needs a little bit more light because it's stretching towards the light a little bit. You can see it leaning. And yes, that's an old coffee mug. However, I'm left-handed. When you're left-handed and your mug has, like, I can't pick it up, for one. And when you do pick it up and you drink from it, these poke you in the eyeballs. You get poked in the eyes by the ears. It's really not a practical cup design. So I turned it into an adorable planter. Syngonium Starlight, adorable little variegated baby. Super cute. Very, very cute plant. Back there, I've got some propagations I just planted up. So they look terrible, and we're not going to look at those until they look cute. This is my Pride and Joy string of turtles at the moment. It is massive. It has just been growing bigger and bigger all winter. It has done really well. It kept flowering too, so I kind of just kept snipping its flowers off. I'm very, see, it's got new flowers here. I hate the flowers.
one, I don't like how the flowers look. I think they look silly. And two, I found, so you can either just pinch the flowers off, but I find when I do that, it actually encourages, like, you see how now it's got 2 stems here? I find every time I pinch off some flowers, it, you can see here too, it encourages more stem growth, and that's how I've ended up with this massive bushy plant, I think. All right, this one here, I cannot for the life of me remember its name. I will try and look it up. It's thirsty too, but I just watered it, like I said, with everyone else. Next shelf up, we have, I'm going to try and get through these a little bit quicker because I'm taking too long. We have a heartleaf philodendron, which is just getting massive. Like, she's got some really long tendrils at the moment. So this is the one that used to hang up in the lounge room. My Brazil has finally gotten its act together. For a long time, it was giving me just lime leaves, and I was like, oh gosh, what's happening? But now I've actually started to get a plant that's starting to look quite nice. So very happy with her. It's recently just started to spit out some much thicker stems too, so it must be doing really, really well. And it's given me this beautiful, don't drop the phone, this beautiful red pinking color, which apparently means it's very happy and very healthy. So super impressed by that my Brazil is finally doing well. Now we have another Syngonium. This is the red arrow Syngonium. It's not looking like, it doesn't look that impressive at the moment because it had a few leaves fall off, but it is this beautiful, look at that coloring, isn't it lovely? It's this beautiful color on the underneath of the leaves with this lovely green on top. But as you can see, it's got new growth. It's doing really well. It's popping out new baby leaves all the way along the stem. So it should look really nice when it's all kind of big and full and trailing. And then we have a neon pothos vine, another one that used to hang in the lounge room. On the top shelf there, we don't have anything. Oh, this Peperomia is getting out of hand. I think the only way to do it is to wide angle it. Look at that. It's just ridiculous right now. So yeah, that's that Peperomia. Something variegata. I can't remember. Also, if you can see out into my messy yard, no comments. I know it's messy, but I'm disabled and it's a big garden, so but it's doing really beautifully. Up the top, got a couple of Hoyas, some more not pothos, which is where this neon one comes from. This neon one is trailing down from this up here. It's kind of like trailed down around the outside here. It's a little bit hard to kind of show, but that's where it is. Got some crazy string of hearts going on. Again, I want to pot everybody into one pot, but I just haven't had the time. So my string of hearts starts there, and then it comes all the way down here, all the way back up there, all the way up to here, and then it comes down, 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 and then it's like hiding in amongst the Monsteras at the moment. So yeah, that's that. The string of hearts are doing really well. Also, this giant deliciosa was adopted from a friend of mine. She was moving to a tropical city, and she was like, I probably shouldn't take a plant that grows like a weed in said tropical city with me. So would you like it? And I was like, would I? That one actually I want to put into a smaller pot. Monsteras usually like to be in quite a squishy pot, and it is in a much bigger pot than I would like it to be. So when I do my big repot, Monstera repot, and I put everybody in the same pot, I think I might put it back maybe in this or maybe one smaller. And then I will pot it with my other ones because it's getting big, but I do want that kind of, you know, fuller plant as much as possible. Now, speaking of Monsteras, my Thai constellation is doing beautifully. This is its brand new leaf, which I'm so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And it does already have another new leaf sprouting in here as well, which is that little nubbin there. But this leaf was beautiful. I loved watching it open. It was its first leaf in my care. This Thai constellation I got as a cutting in January. Yeah, start of the year. I repotted in March. It had massive roots by then, and now it looks like this. Next to that, I have two Standelianas. So I have the Monstera Standeliana. This is a newer one that they came out in my hardware stores, of course. So I picked one up. It's not super variegated, but it's still cute. And then here's my original Standeliana that has been growing in its leca for a really long time. Oh, some dead seedlings. Let me just move the dead seedlings. I was trying to grow seeds and I'm not good at seeds and I killed them. I'm working on it. So this is my original Monstera Standeliana variegata that is still a baby. Then we have a Monstera Peru. This one is a newer one. It's gorgeous. That is a brand new leaf, as you can tell by how, like, look how glossy that looks. Oh, gorgeous. And then its old leaves kind of get this sort of almost velvety, rubbery feel. They're very strange, but I like it. This is, newer Monstera that I'm really enjoying. My Dubaya is getting massive. It's got a brand new leaf, finally, after I repot it and put it onto this pole. So you saw that video. There was a video of me doing that, putting it on this new plank. It kind of didn't grow for ages. I was a little bit worried about it. And then all of a sudden it just went, bam, I'm back. Thank you very much. So I guess it just readjusted to being repot. But she's looking absolutely gorgeous now. And yeah, this new leaf I'm excited for. And the leaves are just getting bigger and bigger. So it'll be good to watch it continue to grow. That one on the screen right now. It's a little baby, but I've seen that if these have something to grow up, they will get fenestrated. So I have given it this beautiful plank that I found in my backyard, which is just like an old fence paling that I've washed and treated and stuff and let dry out in the sun for a long time. And then it's not actually like getting water on it. So I'm hoping that it'll grow up that and get this like big, beautiful blue fenestrated leaves. One of my red vein Marantas, I have another one that needs to be repot that I think is struggling because it needs to be repot, and I will show you that when I get to it. This one is doing super well. Like, I didn't bring the light with me. Hold on. All right, we've brought the light over and let's try this again, shall we? So we've got my red vein Maranta here. This is one of my two. This one is doing really, really well. It has just gotten absolutely massive and you can see it's got some big leaves about to start popping out, which is exciting. That one's very pretty and it's gotten very dark coloring lately, which is nice. And the red is so cute. I love it. All right, now we're going into the Calatheas that still haven't quite recovered from the spider mite saga. Some of them are doing good. Some of them, you'll find out. So I might just pause and bring some of them out so I can... All right, let's move things around a little bit. So I've got just a random heartleaf philodendron cutting that's needing to be planted up, but that's fine. That could just go to the side. So here, I cannot remember the name of this Calathea. This is one of the few that did survive the spider mite saga quite well and has come back very well. It's gotten some beautiful... No! No! Oh my God. And here I was going, oh, it's going great. Oh my God. That is terrible. So I guess it hadn't survived the spider mite saga too well and it needs to go into isolation, which means that this entire shelf is now high risk. I have rare plants on the shelf above this one.